Okay, today we're going to start actually the integer unit, but I always do this a little bit differently, and we're going to talk about stuff you already know. So we won't get into it till tomorrow with official rules and a real section. So whenever I teach this in grade 9, this is a section that I call gains and losses. And the reason why I do this is because you're actually familiar with integers, which are really just the working with positive and negative numbers. But you've done this before, so we talk about like knowing temperature. So if you said that it was 5 below 0, you know that that means it's negative because it's 5 below 0. Or if you were playing football and you gained 6 yards, okay, we know that that is a +6, right? That's an increase. So words that you've heard before, increase, decrease, gains, loss. So it could be weight loss or weight gain. Or if you were golfing and you were 6 under par, that's -6, right? So these are just things that you've seen before. You're familiar with this. So it's just a good place to start before we jump in to the rules. And this is really important. Integers is one of the big cornerstones for pushing forward into high school. So I'm not sure if you guys have done this before in grade 8 yet or not, but it's not a hard unit for sure, but it's certainly a very important one. So it's all going to come back at the end of this section. We are going to talk about doing order of operations with integers. So the last section that I did with you with order of operations, we used just positive numbers. So now I'm going to introduce some negative numbers, but not till the end, not till we know all the rules. So I'm just going to give you an example, okay? So if we had 9 minus 10 plus 8 minus 7 minus 4 plus 6. Now, we could go off what I taught you the other day, and we could say, do order of operations. And remember, I'm a stickler for steps. So you'd first of all do the first piece, and you'd write down -1 plus 8 minus 7 minus 4 plus 6, because there's no brackets, there's no exponents, there's no division and multiplication. So we're going to do adding and subtracting in the order that it appears. And then we do this, and you could figure out that if you had -1 and you added 8, you'd end up with 7 minus 4 plus 6, and then you do the next step and you'd get 0 here, and then you'd finally have -4 plus 6 and get 2. Now that's a long time to do that, right? It certainly works, but it requires a lot more writing than is needed for a question that simple. So I'm going to show you my strategy, and my strategy is to find all the total gains and the total losses and then compare the two results. So I'm not going to teach you a rule yet, but I just want you to start getting your head around this a little bit, okay? So when I teach this in grade 9, I teach it by T-chart, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by that. We set up a little chart like this. And the important thing is, for me anyway, these are like my little rules, so not everyone does this. I always put positive numbers on the left-hand side, negative numbers on the right-hand side. So we're going to go back and we're going to do this exact same question. And 9, you need to understand, is a positive number. There isn't a plus sign in front of it, but that's implied. If there's no sign, then it's a positive. So I put the 9 here. The 10 is a negative, so I'm going to put it over there. And you notice I didn't even write down a sign. We're just going to go back to some real basic math here. 8 is a positive. 7 is a negative. 4 is also a negative, so we're going to put it on that side. And 6 is a positive. And then I just line them up like this. Now, because the negative sign's on here, I'm just going to put a negative sign down here. 10. Okay, so 4 and 7 is 11, carry the 1. So we're just going to go back to some real simple math. So I got -21 on that side. And here, 9 plus 8 is 17, and 17 plus 6 is 23. Now this is the whole crux of this lesson, okay? This is what I want you to notice and recognize. This is going to be really important. This can be helpful as we push through on the rest of the lessons. Do you recognize that the 23 is a larger digit? Okay, not a number, but a larger digit. So this means that there's more positive numbers than there are negative. And so now you're just down to one quick step here. Okay, 23 minus 21 is 2, and that's our final answer. Okay, which is exactly what we did here when we went through steps. Okay, and yes, okay, for those of you who are watching this video and going, well, I could have just done this in my head. That is a true story, okay? I realize that. But eventually, I'm going to have you working on this T-chart, and you're going to find out that you are super quick at this and will beat kids that are racing you on a calculator using just the T-chart if you were to do a question like this. And the problem I have with a calculator is when you are doing things like this that require multiple steps and you're trying to do it all at one time, you end up accidentally missing a negative or writing a digit in incorrectly. Okay, and this is a skill that is really important. So we're going to put all of our positive numbers on this side, all of our negative numbers on this side. We just start from the beginning. Remember, 241 has no sign in front of it, therefore it is a positive number. 476 is going to go on the negative side. 119 over here on the positive side. 337 is a negative, and 405 is a positive. And I'll actually challenge kids. I can do this faster than kids can do it on a calculator. Okay, but I'm going to go slow this time. 6 and 7 is 13. Carry the 1. 7 and 3 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. Then we have 4 and 3, which is 7, plus 1 more is 8. So our negative numbers are 813. And over here now we're going to add these up. 9 and 1 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 4 and 1 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. 2 and 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7. So clearly you can see our negative numbers are larger, okay, in that column. So I know that my answer is going to be negative, and now I only have to do one subtraction question because I'm down to just 2 digits. So you just take the larger number, 813, that always goes on top, and then you're going to subtract 765. Okay, because no one wants to do this in their head. No one's going to go 241 minus 476. You're going to get lost in that. But you can see right here, this is a doable question. Adding is simple. That's a skill that we come to in grade 8 and grade 9. Okay, we have that already in our toolbox. And now we only have to do one subtraction. So do you need some skills? Yeah, for sure you do. Okay, I cannot take 5 away from 3, so I'm going to borrow. And 13 minus 5 is 8. Now we cannot take 6 away from 0, so we're going to borrow from here. And 10 minus 6 is 4, and therefore our answer is negative 48. Okay, so we're at 7 minutes now, and I'm not sure that that is enough information, but I want you to maybe rewatch the video, and I'm going to get you a quick little assignment. Then I'm going to come back on and I'm going to do another quick video, but it's just going to be a couple of these T-chart questions. Trust me, this is important, okay? This is going to be super helpful for you as we push forward into the rest of the integer unit. And I'm going to send home an assignment. Okay, talk to you soon.